Hello and welcome back to the Elite YGO. My name is Reese and today we're going to be doing a deck profile of Prank-Kids. That's right, Prank-Kids, but not the standard Prank-Kids you might already know. Actually, we're going to be dabbling a bit into the future and seeing what the deck will be like post Phantom Rage. That's right, we're going to be testing Prank-Kids Meow Meow. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off with the monsters, we're going to be playing 3 of all the Prank-Kids, so 3 Prank-Kids fancies. If you guys don't already know what the Prank-Kids do, I'll quickly explain them. So, when they're all used as a fusion or link material for a Prank-Kids monster, they will tutor a new Prank-Kids monster from the deck. It has to be a different one than the one used. For example, Fancies cannot summon itself, but it can summon other ones, like Lampsies, for an example. The other thing is, they all have their own effects that coincide with that effect specifically to summon one from the deck. For example, Fancies will Foolish Burial or Foolish Burial goods any Prank-Kids card from the deck to the graveyard. We also have 3 Prank-Kids Dropsies. This one will gain you 1,000 life points. 3 Prank-Kids Lampsies. This one will burn your opponent for 500. Sorry, not 1,000. That would be really nice. And 3 Prank-Kids Roxies. This one will banish one card from your hand and draw you a fresh one. So once you do all those effects, then you'll special summon your monsters. You do have to play 3 of all of them because they are all 1-card combo starters, and your 1-card combo is pretty devastating, so I think you should max out on all of them, and it's basically the only strategy in the deck. Unlike the Dragon Link deck, there's only really one way to perform these combos in this deck, and that's with these Prank-Kids monsters, so I highly suggest maxing out on all of them. Onto another monster that is more or less controversial right now within the Prank-Kids community. I think it's really good though. That is Parallel Exceed. Now, allow me to attempt to change your mind if you don't agree with this. If you normal summon one Prank-Kids monster and try to do your full combo through that, one single Ash Blossom is going to devastate your combo and you're pretty much done for. What Parallel Exceed allows you to do is not get ashed at that very crucial point. If they try to ash you, you've got a chain block in Parallel Exceed. You also get to end on at least an Abyss Dweller or whatever rank 4 you choose to play in your extra deck, which I think is really, really powerful. I don't understand why people don't like this card. I can understand it in some form, that it's not a Prank-Kids monster, it's not a poly, it's not this, it's not that. But the pure fact that this chain blocks your 1-card combo is the main reason I think it should be played. If you think you can prove me wrong, leave a comment down below and let's have a little back and forth, and maybe you can change my mind or maybe I can change your mind. But for the foreseeable future, I think I'll be playing this card because I think it's fantastic. So onto hand traps. The way I see it, you don't have to copy these exactly. They're good right now, but when Prank-Kids Meow Meow does come out, that hand trap lineup probably will change because the format would have changed by then as well. But nonetheless, let's just show them off. So we've got 3 Phantasmes, 3 Nibiru's, 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Effect Veilers, and 3 Infinite Impermanents. The one thing you can probably change right now, if for some reason your friends allow you to play this against them, you can probably put Ghost Ogres in here. Because Numerons are a thing, very scary, and you probably want something in your main deck to combat that strategy. And who knows, when Prank-Kids Meow Meow comes out, Numeron might still be a thing. You just don't know. Moving on to the spell cards. We played 3 Prank-Kids Place, along with the 1 Terraforming. Not only does this allow you to have more starters, you actually get the chain block with this also. Because when you summon a fusion or link monster, while this is on the field, you can either make your opponent's monster lose attack or have your monsters gain attack, depending on which one you summon. So this has like multiple purposes, which is really nice. You want that in a field spell. It doesn't want to just do one thing, it does multiple things. We also play 3 Pandemonium. This is the in-archetype polymerization. This is the reason I don't think you need to play poly in the deck itself. Now, I don't play it. I also think it's okay to play it, because if you open 1 Prank-Kids monster plus poly, you get to do your full combo without wasting this, and it allows you to make Totally Awesome. But you can sometimes make Totally Awesome anyway, even without the poly, so I don't think it's super necessary, and I'd rather play extra monsters like the Parallel Exceed or extra hand traps. The other Prank-Kids card we play is just the 1 Pranks. Before Meow Meow was a thing, I think you only played this at 2. I didn't think you needed to play less or more than it, but right now, 1 is fine. You'll never need more than 1. It's also like a pseudo Pot of Avarice, being able to shuffle back 3 Prank-Kids cards and drawing you 1. We play 1 Instant Fusion. This card is nuts. It summons your Rocket Ride straight from the deck, basically becomes a Monster Reborn for 2 monsters if you top deck it. If you open it with your combo, chances are you're gonna win that duel. So I definitely think you should always play this card and do not cut it, whatever you do. And onto the one and only trap, aside from the impermanences that I showed earlier, is just the 1 Prank-Kids plan. Again, there was an argument to be said beforehand that you could play 2 of this, but I think 1 is more than fine right now. Before we get into the extra deck, like usual, I'd like to shout out nikijo.com.au. They are selling out fast on their Battles of Legend Armageddon cards. So if you're really interested in any of that stuff or past products, if you're into Dragon Ball Z, if you're into Pokemon, or if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, go check them out. Link will be in the description. Use the promo code ELITE5 for a 5% discount on all your orders. That'll be greatly appreciated and you'll help both me and Nikijo out greatly. Okay, so moving on to the extra deck, it's pretty simple really. We play a 2 Meow Meow. An argument can be said that you can play 3. I don't think it's super necessary because you're probably going to win by the time you need your 3rd anyway, or you've already lost. So, 2 Doodle Doo. This card basically just searches you on summon and adds back 2 from the grave when tributed for its effect. Bow Bark does the same thing, tributes itself only during your opponent's turn to add back 2 Prank-Kids cards. And then the Rip Roar and Roaster. This card is nuts because its type is Feather Duster, so if those trap decks ever become an issue, this is definitely the way to go. For the other Link 4s that are not part of the archetype, we have 1 Boral Sword. This card is really sweet. You can almost always go into a Link 4 play after your 1 card combo, so chances are turn 3 you're gonna OTK. This one, Access Code Talker, is basically your secret boss monster. All your links are different attribute. Literally all of them. So almost every time you're going to be popping 3 cards with this. It's so nuts. I just can't believe Konami printed a card like this. It is so sick. I love it so much. Okay, onto the fusions. 2 Rocket Ride. This is your double Monster Reborn. You contribute it to special summon 2 Prank-Kids monsters except the fusion, which means you can summon back Link monsters, which is pretty nice. This is also quick effect, so if they try to impermanence it, they just go -1, which is really nice. We've got the 1 Weather Washer, which does the same thing except during your opponent's turn and also protects the monsters it summons from battle. The 1 Battle Butler, the star of the show, some might say. Being able to Regeki your opponent twice in 1 turn thanks to Meow Meow is nuts. This card is also not once per turn or once per chain. So if you were to activate Butler's effect and banish the Meow Meow, and then they permanence it, you can just use it again, tributing itself and regeking the field anyway. Really nice. Onto the XYZs, we obviously play the 1 Totally Awesome because it can come up, and we play the 1 Abyss Dweller for the Parallel Exceed. Thank you so much for hanging around this long. As a little surprise, I'm going to give you a quick 1 card combo video, just to show you what a 1 card in this deck can finally do. It's really nice, because before it needed 3 cards to do anything of relevance, now we just need the 1. So I'll get that set up for you and I'll quickly show it to you. Okay, so for this 1 card combo, like I said, all you need is 1 Prank-Kids monster. We're going to start with Fansies. It is the best one to start with, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to get to all the Prank-Kids monsters anyway. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to normal summon your Fansies. You're going to link 1 into the brand new Prank-Kids Meow Meow. You're then going to activate Fansies effect, sending Prank-Kids plan to summon out Dropsies. From here, we're going to make a link 2 into Doodle Doo. We're going to activate both Doodle Doo and Dropsies, so we gain 1,000 life points. We're going to add Pandemonium and summon Lampsies. From here, we're going to activate the Pandemonium, fusing both creatures into a Rocket Ride, which will allow us to trigger the Lampsies, burning your opponent for 1,000 and summoning Roxies. From here, we're going to tribute off the Rocket Ride, summon back any of the attributes, and then specifically you definitely need to summon back the Doodle Doo. From here we're going to tribute the Doodle Doo for its effect to add back both Pandemonium and Prank-Kids Plan. Then we're going to use these 2 to link into Bow Bark and then activate our Roxy's effect to summon any other attribute. From there, we're just going to set 2 and pass to our opponent. At any point during their turn, it doesn't really matter when you do it. Just pick an ideal time before they start making their plays. You want to tribute the Bower Bark, summon back the 2, oh sorry, not summon back, but you're going to add back the 2 missing attributes. So obviously if you've got Fancies, you need Lampsies and Dropsies. You do not want Roxy's here. Do not add Roxy's to your hand because it is not a material for the Battle Butler. Then what you're going to do is you're going to activate Pandemonium, fusing all 3 of your monsters to make your Battle Butler. You want to try keep it out of the extra monster zone because you want to use that for the Meow Meow for your follow-up. And then all 3 of your Prank Kids are going to trigger their effects. So you will summon all 3 Prank Kids monsters like this. Let's say your opponent decides to start comboing off, you'll activate Battle Butler. And then you'll activate Meow Meow, banishing it. Now let's say they decide to make a second push. Well, here we go again. Battle Butler will do so. He'll stop everything. Now if they even decide to make a second push, you do have the Prank Kids plan to back yourself up. You don't really want to result to that. So let's just assume that that was it. Passes back to you. Well, what do? You link into Meow Meow and you do it all over again. But at this point, you can attack. So it's really, really powerful. I think this deck is nuts. I think this combo is nuts. Being able to open 1-card combos followed up with like a plethora of hand traps, I just cannot see many decks being able to compete with it. Now, I'm not saying it's the best deck or will be the best deck, but in just the way I see it right now, I think this deck is super, super strong. It's also really fun. You know, people get really annoyed when you play this deck because apparently Prank-Kids players are quite slow, which makes sense because, you know, there's a lot of life point manipulation, so some players might play it slow just to, you know, get that advantage, which is really sad, but we are not one of those people. I like to play this deck fun, fast, and OTK people, and just be off the table. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please like, please comment, and like I said, if you don't agree with the Parallax Seed, let me know in the comments below. I will reply, and that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.